Morning.
Good morning, Tara.
How are you? Good
Doing
morning,
well.
John.
Good morning. Good morning to you both. Good morning to the world. Good morning to another amazing, incredible day here. Not just on the Khan Family Show, but everywhere in the world. You know, we wish everybody the best, and we're doing the best we can to help people to, get through all of this stuff. And, I figured it's the first Monday of the month, and for quite a period of time, we had Coach Minard coming in on the first Monday of the month when she agreed to come in on the show, I was like, let's do the first Monday of the month. Let's freaking last the month off with a freaking rock and roll show and give people something to start off on a positive mindset thought process, because Coach has helped me so much. She's the author of this incredible book, and I recommend to everybody that they get this book. This right here, Training Your Brain for Success, kids. I'm telling you, this works if you use it. Coach has come up with something really special, and you got to love the brain right there. See that brain that's dumbbells? That's like the strongest brain there is on the planet right there. Just look at it. That's just some brilliant stuff right there, Coach. But that's really what the whole thing is all about. And I recommend to everybody to get that thing and work through it. And, it's kind of a roadmap to be able to train your brain for success. And right now, I think people are in serious need of some brain training. And so we're really tickled. I reached out to Coach Minard yesterday, just kind of hoping that maybe she would be able to make it in here today, figuring she probably wouldn't. But here she is. We've got the coach in the house. So, Coach, what's going on, honey?
Oh, doing well. I'm honored again to be on your show, and you've had some really cool people on. I just love how you really bring in the Kong family together. Things are going well. It's been a busy summer, I have to say, and I love that the business has been so busy. People are waking up to the importance of their health. They're looking for financial opportunity, which is really exciting. It's been a beautiful summer. My kids have been running me all over the place. I have 4, so it has been nonstop, but it's been good. So, it's always counting your blessings. My husband, he's like, one day you're going to miss running these kids all over the place. I'm like, I don't know. But, appreciating, yes, I love my children. Appreciating the moments.
Well, Coach, that's one thing I love so much about you, and it's been a constant barrage of that from you, and it's such a blessing, is that you're always putting out such incredible, positive, informative content for people to be able to learn from and be able to, get into their brain. I've had this thing I've been saying for a long time that water is 75% of your body, which makes it the most important aspect of your body, of your health, of everything. If it's 75%, by golly, that's by far more than the other 25%, whatever that is. And I always used to say to people that the other 25% was made up of your diet, your exercise, your environment, and your mindset. I always put the mindset last. But actually, since meeting you, Coach, and learning what I've learned from you, now when I say those 4 things that make up the other 25%, I always put mindset first. Because you've taught me that our mindset is really the most important aspect when it comes to that other 25%. Because we can have the greatest diet, we can have we can work out like madmen and women, we can, live in a perfectly clean environment, but if our mindset is all jacked up, nothing's, it's gonna destroy all the rest of it. And I didn't understand how powerful our minds are. And so, Coach, maybe today you could talk about some of that kind of stuff. I know you just recently went through a of probably what is a very, crazy mindset situation. And, maybe you could talk a little bit about how people can get themselves through that. And of course, we
Sure.
know that right now, the mindset thing is, people are going nuts. So that's why I'm so tickled to have you on today, Coach.
Oh, well,
What do we
thank
got
you.
for kids
Thank you.
today?
Yeah, so, if you think about it, the mind is what controls the body. People forget that. Your brain, what your thoughts are saying is what your body will reflect. And so, when we're telling our brain that we're old, that we're sick, that we're tired, that we're stressed, that is what is being communicated to ourselves. Like we forget, this is communication going through our body. When we're stressed, stress makes our body acidic. We all know disease loves an acidic body. This is what we teach, but we forget that, like you say, we can be doing a lot of these other things, but if we're not taking captive our thoughts, if we're not becoming aware of our thinking can still destroy us. And, for years, I truly thought I was a very positive person. And instead, I was a very complaining, critical person. I'm an introvert, and introverts are very self-reflective. They can overthink things. They can be naturally more critical. Extroverts like you, JJ, a lot of stuff you can just let it bounce off you, like stuff from the outside, because some of that is a personality thing. And so I didn't realize how I was literally, until I started listening to myself, murmuring under my breath, complaining about everything. And one is, if we complain about ourselves, if we're criticizing ourselves, we will just reflect that out to criticize other people. People who are truly love themselves, you will see that they don't criticize. They're not in competition with everybody else. But you begin to get into a peace with yourself, of loving yourself, and loving yourself is a huge process. But when you can begin to do that, you begin to get into kind of a place of peace to where a lot of the external stuff doesn't start just destroying your life down. So for me, it was learning, one, to start looking in the mirror and start saying, I love you to myself. Like that sounds so strange, but it is so, so powerful just to look in the mirror and say, I love you. I appreciate you. No, none of us are perfect. We all have our flaws. We're all works in progress, but it starts really with loving and embracing ourselves as we are, not when I'm this size or when I accomplish this or when I do this, but loving myself fully now and coming into the peace of that, knowing that better things are coming. And I'm thankful for those good things coming, but getting into an inner place of peace with myself and my situation now. So, I've been in a place of being homeless. And when we struggled against that, nothing was changing. And when we just got into a place of peace of saying, okay, we're still, even through all of this, we had to move in with family, all this kind of stuff, we still were provided for in some way. And it was like getting into a place of gratitude and a place of peace amidst the chaos. And then that's when new doors began to open. But when we're so stressed and we have all this chaos and we let all this stuff around us all the time, we can't see the opportunity that's right in front of us. It's like people who we talk to about the water. They can be so sick and they're so caught up in their chaos that they can't see what's right in front of them. And we have to understand it's not us. This has to do with their own inner beliefs and their own thinking. And so, for us, it really is, it's a process of education with people. I mean, this, JJ, this is why you do this show, really just a process of education. Yeah, so for me this spring, so I have 4 children. I just turned 44. This water will make you younger. I mean, it just flat out, like, I have to warn people, it will make you younger. And I ended up unexpectedly getting pregnant with twins. And then at 10 weeks, I ended up miscarrying and all this, but it was emotionally traumatic going through all of that because 1, it was unexpected. 2, my age. 3, here I am in my business, like I'm so focused, and you're talking about 2 babies. I mean, this is like serious shake up your life. My husband and I were finally to the point to where, like, we've never gone on a vacation without the kids, because who do you leave 4 kids with? We were like, this year, like, we're going together for the first time. Like, we had all this stuff, and it was like my whole world just like fell apart. And I think a lot of people through this pandemic have had situations, through all of this, where you feel your world crumble, and there was nothing that I could, I had to let go. I had to just like surrender and just say, okay, I'm grateful in this situation, whatever the purpose of this is. If I'm supposed to have these babies, I'm going to have these babies, and somehow we're going to do this, and it's going to be okay, and we're going to work through this. But it was really just like this process of surrender, because we try to carry our burdens, we try to carry all this stuff, and it's weighing us down, and we don't realize how much that affects our health too. And when I just began to surrender, and I have a lot of beliefs, spiritual beliefs or whatnot, and just really surrendered all this to God, and I was like, whatever purpose is in this, I have to trust you. I have to trust. And, in the end, I had suspicions that I was going to end up miscarrying, which is really difficult. But through this, I was kind of like flat on my back. And I realized that I was trying to make so much happen on my own. I was like trying to force things and make things happen, and all this stress and all this kind of stuff. And through that, it was just learning to, 1, be thankful in the moment, get into that place of peace, because I can't control all of this, but I control inside here. And when I did that, just like that surrender and that peace, that's when like my business went up to the next level. My family connections went up to the next level, because I think a lot of times, like, we let all of this stuff distract us and keep us so worked up. Right now there's so much going on in the world. There's so much in the news. There's so much that's not being shown in the news that's really infuriating. I mean, I feel it too. You can feel that anger stirring up, and it's like, okay, I can't control all of that, but I can control my inner peace. I can pray. I can try to speak my truth. But getting into that place of inner peace, and sometimes it's just shutting everything down and just getting into a quiet, still place, because, we can't control, they say life is 90%, 10% is what happens to you, 90% is how you react to it. And so just getting into this place of, okay, I can't control all of this, but I can control this. And despite all that's going on, my mission is still to, 1, improve myself, to love my family, to love God, to love people. Okay, to love people, to love and serve people. And I want to love and serve them through the mission of this water for their health, through the mission of educating them about mindset, of giving them financial opportunity. And so when I stay focused on that, I can keep myself in a good place. And it's a battle. We all know it's a battle right now. Like in my social media feed, if people are going off in negativity, they're gone, or I mute them. Like, that stuff's not in my feed. because that's going into me. I don't want that going into me. So people complain a lot about social media. I'm like, my social media is beautiful. Like, it's beautiful because I have the people on there who I want to see, who are uplifting and encouraging. And, you know, that's what we've got to get to, that higher vision right now. Otherwise, we're going to get down in all this muck and mire and junk that's going on right now. And it's going to pull us down. So we have to think about what's going to pull us up is this higher vision of why we're here on this earth. And we've got to keep with this vision, keep our eyes on this vision.
You know, I love that, Coach. In fact, maybe you might expand on that just a little bit, how you keep your, you know, because there's probably many people out there who don't even know how they could stop the negativity from getting onto their news feed. Maybe you could just give them a little bit of an idea of what you do. How do you get that stuff out of there? How do you make it so your news feed is nothing but happy-go-lucky, you know, the world is a peach kind of thing?
Well, there is the button delete. Okay. Do not be afraid to delete friends. You can also, you know, if these are, I mean, I have people that I do love them dearly. I don't want to unfriend them. I don't want to delete them, but you can put them on mute, guys. You can literally put them on mute so they don't show up on your feed. And the people that are going to show up on your feed are the ones that you're interacting with. So interact with people who are putting out positivity, who are like-minded with you. Friend people, make new friends, okay? Who are, you know, I encourage my team to go into Facebook groups and find other positive-minded people, or find people in health and friend them. You know, you can get some new friends. That's okay to get some new friends. But we have to guard ourselves. We have to, you know, protect ourselves. And what you're looking at, what you're commenting on is more of what's going to come in the feed. So if you're arguing with somebody, I'm telling you, they're going to come in your feed all the time. Just don't, and you just, I know it's hard to not engage, but right now we're probably not going to change anybody's mind. So it's not worth our time and effort. I've literally started to type on a couple of posts and I couldn't post it. I was like, this isn't worth my friendship. I know I'm not going to change this person's mind. I feel very emotional at this time. I'm going to step away right now. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because that could have caused a rift in a friendship that someone I really care about. And it's hard. It's hard to bite your tongue right now. There's a lot that I want to share, and some people are really showing a lot of the stuff that's really going down, and I'm really thankful for those people, and kudos to those people. My husband and I, we just kind of agreed that we weren't going to do a whole lot political. We've got to just love people right now. So that's me. But everybody, you know, I can't speak for what everybody else feels to do. Like, you got to go with your truth of what you feel. And if you're on a mission, you feel, to educate what's the crap that's going down right now, like, please do, you know. But, you know, you've got to stick with what you feel peace about. And right now, I have to keep coming back to, I have to speak love. I just have to speak love, because people aren't getting the positivity from anywhere else right now. So that's like my mission right now, is to try to educate, to teach about health, to teach about finance, to teach opportunity, to teach mindset, these type of things. So we've created even other Facebook groups. We've created a mindset group. I've created a health coaching group. I created a finance type of group, like trying to give people the resources that they need right now as they're going through this. And, you know, my hope is, you know, light, you know, think about darkness, even just a tiny little light can break through that darkness, you know. And that's what we can be right now, is to be a light. And, you know, I can pray, I can try to do things behind the scenes, and who I'm voting for, and what I'm signing, and what I'm, you know, these type of things. But that's where I am right now, you know. But again, each person has to speak their truth. But arguing with people right now, unfortunately, it's just going to typically pull us down, you know.
Yeah.
it's a tough place to be. It's a tough place.
Yeah, Coach, that's another reason I'm so happy that you were able to come on today, because I know that I'm one of those people that I can't just sit and watch stuff go and act like it's not happening. I but I but I can still, I feel like even in spite of everything that's going on, I'm still maintaining a positive attitude. I'm still doing the best I can to try and educate, because ultimately I think that's the key, is to educate people about what's going on.
Right.
And,
I think if you can educate in a spirit of love versus a spirit of anger and hate, because people will sense that what you're saying is coming from your heart versus you just trying to argue with them. And, maybe that's how we need. So yesterday I posted about right now in the sex trafficking, huge people are being brought down right now. They're going to trial this week. Huge people. The news is not covering this. Okay. It's infuriating. I wanted to do a post. I wanted to plaster all these names. I wanted to just, ugh. And I was like, okay, how can I speak this in love? How can I get people's attention? So I talked about the children. I talked about how, we need to be praying. We need to protect our own children. We need to be funding these organizations. And I just tried to there was so much more I wanted to say. But that was what I had peace about, and trying to speak in love and for people to see my heart, and, JJ, I know you have a lot to say, and if you feel impressed to say it, you need to, you have to speak your truth, and we need people out there putting this information out, putting the faith, the public needs to see this. So if you feel in your heart to do that, you need to do it. Knowing you're going to get a lot of flack, and are you prepared for that too? That's the other thing. It's a scary time to know that speaking truth, you're going to get stomped on. Yeah. But it's okay. We're going through, I think, a national shaking right now. And I think a lot of people's eyes are slowly being opened to the realization, people don't understand, right now, Trump is putting into action legislation that will hurt big pharma massively. All these cures for cancer, all this stuff that has been suppressed for decades. But big pharma can't make money off of it. We know this being in the health industry. So this legislation is it's going to turn upside down the FDA and big pharma. Okay. Where do you think a lot of the money is that's supporting a lot of these evil causes? We don't realize how big this is. We don't understand, what really is going on fully, and I don't know if we'll ever fully know the big picture either of how complex. There's so much, we could talk all day about what's really going on right now, but we have to figure out what is our place in all of this and what is our message in all of this.
Coach, it feels so good to hear your little giggle. You have the most precious little giggle in the world. I love it. It always just brings such a great warmth and giggle to my brain. So I definitely have missed that little giggle of yours over the period of time where we haven't been able to get on the show here together. But what a blessing to have you here, and just all of the, we need to. I'm like Exhibit A of that person that needs to work on educating from love, because sometimes I get so dang frustrated with what's going on right now. Like my wife, who has worked at this grocery store chain here in Utah, or as I so affectionately call it, Utardia, for for 30 years. She's been working at this grocery store chain for 30 years as it's switched from three, it's now gone through 3 different entities. And she's called in sick 3 times in 30 years.
Wow.
She's probably been late a handful of times in 30 years. And right now she's sitting on 3 months of unpaid leave of absence because
Wow.
she cannot wear a mask and she cannot wear a petri dish over her face all day. And she's not going to do it. It ain't happening. Even if it costs her her pension and everything else, she ain't doing it. And, it's a frustrating thing. It's caused some problems for us at home because she's not used to being home. She doesn't even like what's happening. She doesn't like the fact that she is at home and she can't go to work, but she already knows she can't do this. And there's no way that she could sit in that check stand for 8 hours a day with that freaking petri dish on her face. And so it's definitely been a trial, and it, trying to stay positive. I just keep thinking and working back towards the things I've learned from you. And I'm so thankful for everything you've taught me and the things that you continue to put out there, seeing your positive posts and your videos that you do, and hearing because you're always talking good, solid brainendation.
Thank you. I'm trying. It's hard. I mean, I can't say I don't have moments that I don't feel really angry too. And it's like, okay, wait a second. I'm letting all of this take my peace, take my joy. What can I control? It's hard. It's hard. And I mean, I a lot of times all I can do is just pray, honestly, because we need people to wake up. And I think people are waking up, and figuring out our place in all of this and what to say and what not to say. It's not easy. I'm be the first to say it's not easy. But yeah, we can focus on our own mind, our own growth.
Oh, for some reason you just crashed.
Yeah, I thought it was my line, but I guess not.
Well, you're not going to work today?
No, it's holiday here.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's one more day that you don't have to go out there and dodge them damn Anasazi.
That's right. Tomorrow.
I got kicked off. Sorry.
You crashed right in the middle of what you were talking about.
All right. I'm back. Okay.
So you were talking about, not letting this stuff steal your peace and praying and then
Right,
much
right,
at
because
that point is when you went out.
yeah, because otherwise, I mean, if we it's hard. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it is hard right now. And you feel the anger, you feel the frustration. Sometimes people, it's in anger and frustration that you can push through to that next thing. So sometimes, like with your wife, okay, what is the purpose behind this? Is this for her to stand her ground? Is this because she's been there a long time and they've kind of taken her for granted? And maybe there's another opportunity, I know ultimately you want to get her in the business with you, but is there a bigger purpose behind this? Like in everything, you can always ask, what is the purpose behind this? And, sometimes I come home and I just, like, you go to the grocery store, man, anyway, you know what I mean? and you come home and you feel aggravated and frustrated, and all that's doing is encoding that anger and frustration, into our brain, into our neural networks, and we have to understand that right now there's a lot of deception going on. There's a lot of people who they truly believe that they're acting in the best interest, all this kind of stuff. And I have to respect that. And I have to see past that, see them as human beings. Okay. And love them past that. Right. And try again to respond in love as much as I can, because otherwise we're just going to stay stirred up. And I'll catch myself. I'm like driving in the car and I'm like, oh, and all this stuff spinning. And it's like, okay, I have to stop this, because this is not good for my health. This is not good for me to go home and be irritated and I'm with my kids or I'm with my spouse. Like, I've got to separate myself from this. I can't, again, control all of this, but I can control me. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie.
It is hard to separate yourself and to keep, but for me, I've had 30 years of this stuff. I've been, ever since I read The World Without Cancer 30 years ago, pretty much almost 30 years ago now, I've been going through this kind of thing. So this whole thing is really not anything new to me, because I've been the odd man out for a long time. I've been the crazy person. Most of my family thinks I'm nuts. Most of my friends think I'm nuts. And, and they all have one thing in common, though. Every one of them has one thing in common. They won't learn what I've learned. The only thing they get their information from is from the TV and the media. And there's a few of those people that have actually taken the time to learn what I've learned as I've shared it with them. And those are the people that, they don't think I'm nuts. Everybody else thinks I'm nuts. And, it's an interesting thing knowing that you're living in a situation where pretty much everybody you love thinks you're crazy. And for me, I always look back at it and say, well, I've got the truth on my side. So as long as I've got the truth on my side, then I feel confident in what I'm doing. And if that truth changes, if something comes up, which has happened numerous times over all those years, where what I thought was the truth turned out to not be the truth. And I didn't just cling to my old truth that I thought was the truth. I shifted my paradigm over to adjust to what the truth was. And so I've shifted my paradigm multitudes of times over the years as the truth warranted it. And so, for me, that's kind of how I keep myself sane. I always say that, I've always been crazy, like the old Waylon Jennings song. I've always been crazy. That's what keeps me from going insane, I'm already crazy. And, and I try to laugh at that and use that as a strength rather than a hindrance. And I think that everything I've learned from you over this last year, over these last couple of years, has been really helpful in that. And that's one of the reasons why I love having you come in here at the beginning of the month, because what a great way to start the month off, by getting some really solid thought process invoking information, and inundating our brain with good stuff.
Right now, we have to more than ever inundate our brain. I mean, we thought it was bad before. Holy cow, we had no idea, right?
Exactly.
And so, it's waking up and putting on something inspirational. Or, you're driving home from the store and you're really aggravated, or somebody snide said something to you, whatever. Put on something that's going to encourage you. Like, we have to, like, when you have a tidal wave coming against you got to get a bigger wave to compensate for that. And, it is a battle, recognizing it's a daily battle, and what's going to win. And that's really up to us, and what we allow into our heart and what we allow to fester. You know, it's what we allow to come in and to start to grow. And so, you know, if, you know, we walk out of that situation aggravated, frustrated, or whatever, and we can shift by playing some positive, like find some really awesome motivated songs, get, you know, your go-tos on YouTube, okay, for inspiration, you know, Tony Robbins or whatever, like Joel Osteen, you know, whatever's inspirational to you, have them ready to go. So literally you just switch right over into that positive thinking. And this is good. Like we should be doing this, you know, normally, but now more than ever, because our health, like all that anger, all that frustration, it's turning our body acidic. Okay. It's damaging our cells. It's causing oxidation in our body. Like we understand all of this. Thank God for our water. I mean, especially now, I feel like I'm drinking more water than ever. Like we need our water more, people need our water more than ever. Plus our water helps to produce dopamine and serotonin and a lot of things to help balance. So being hydrated helps the brain to function better, helps our hormones to balance, helps us to be happier. So, you know, drink your water, drink your gallon a day.
Yeah. So Coach, I know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with, you know, all the negativity that's going on. And, you know, without getting into any of the science or any of that kind of stuff about anything that's going on, you know, I have a really dear friend who I just love so much. And I hope to get him to listen in and watch the recording of this when I get it out. But, you know, he's got a thought process that, like, if somebody says something to him that irritates him or whatever, you know, his thought process at the current time is, I need to go beat that person up. And that's going to be the solution to the problem, is violence, you know, to go, this person should not be disrespecting me that way. And because they're disrespecting me that way, I need to go freaking thump them. That's going to be the solution. What would you have as advice for somebody that has that kind of a thought process?
So that's good. That's a reactive. That's reacting. So this is what little children do. You hit me, I'm going to hit you back. Okay. So this is the primitive, this is the subconscious mind. It gets angered, it's emotional, it reacts back. Okay. So if we stay in this, when we get angered, we get upset, we can get into that fight or flight mode. Okay. Logic goes out the door. We're not responding logically. We're responding in an animalistic type of way. Okay. That's why we get a fight, you know, you get in a fight with your spouse, all this stuff comes out of your mouth that you would have never said otherwise. Okay. But in that emotion, the subconscious mind just started spewing stuff out. Okay. So we have to recognize, am I going to allow this animalistic, childlike ways to control me? Am I going to be reactive? Or am I going to take control and be proactive and talk? We have to begin to take emotion. It's like you look at the news. The news is so sensational. The news, you shouldn't read an article and have all these adjectives and all this stuff to create emotion. Okay, that's sensationalism, you know, and the more we watch, the more they get paid, and you know, I mean, that's how it works. So in emotion can be really deceptive. Emotion can make us do all kinds of stuff. So it's like disciplining a child. That child just did something. I'm pissed off right now at that kid. Okay. For us, we would always step away from a moment and get calmed down, not react out of emotion. We'd get ourselves calmed down. Then we would go in and talk to our child, discipline our child. But we did not discipline them out of anger. Okay, because that's abuse. Okay, disciplining out of anger. So basically what's happening is that when we're reacting out of anger, that's like abuse. Like we're allowing people to abuse us and we're abusing other people. You know, and that's not helping anybody. So it's taking a step back. Okay, I don't agree with this person. This is upsetting. I feel, I mean, again, I felt anger. I felt upset. I mean, you know, and we have every right to, okay? But I'm not going to respond out of that anger, because that anger is going to feed their anger, which is just going to come back and feed my anger. And, you know, it's just going to continue to escalate. So I have to step out of that emotion. And I think having empathy too, seeing from other people's perspective of why do they have these beliefs? You know, what, you know, beginning to get in their shoes, okay? Because some people right now, they really are afraid of this and this and this and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And to me, it's sad, but, you know, this is where they are right now. You know, me like screaming at them, what is that going to do? But me responding in love to them, trying to educate them in love, that's what I feel like I can do right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's interesting right now because the reason that people are reacting the way they are, I mean, quite frankly, plain and simply, the reason they're doing it is because they're getting all their information from the TV and from the media and from the government, and that's it. They're not, if you try to send them out something, because quite frankly, I've been exposing all this stuff for over 6 months. I started exposing this stuff a long time before it even started happening. Clear back in October of last year, I saw this all starting, and I started dedicating episodes of the show to try and expose it long time ago. And what I've found is that people, like, for example, someone wants information, how I've been putting out constant information, how there's no such thing as a virus. And everybody that I put this information out there and tell them, you know, ask them, hey, disprove it, prove it wrong. They laugh back at me, go, ha, 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 YouTube video. It's like, come on, kids, you know, everybody has YouTube now. All the major news networks, ABC, NBC, CNN, blah, 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 whatever, they all have YouTube channels. They all put their information out there on YouTube. It's like the great way to get information out there. And unfortunately, YouTube's been doing what they've been doing. But if people won't actually look because it came from this source or that source, and, you know, it's so crazy how many times I've had people laugh at me because I'm giving them a YouTube video as proof or as documentation. And I guess they don't understand that sometimes what's happening in these YouTube videos is we're actually putting the documentation out there. We're actually putting out the evidence. We're putting out all the science and all that stuff. And like Dr. Kaufman, he's a one-of-a-kind dude. He's risked everything to come out and tell the truth about what's going on. And I respect him. I can't wait to hopefully one day give him a big hug and maybe even get him on the show one day to talk about this kind of stuff. But he's the most calm and cool and collective dude that I've ever listened to. And I really respect people that risk everything to go against the narrative. And most people won't do that. They won't say anything because it might cost them something. And this guy, he's the exact opposite of that. And, you know, so people that, you know, you know that they're scared, you know that they are doing what they're doing. What would you recommend from a mindset standpoint as to how to get these people to actually look closer at what they're being subjected to, and finding out, you know, because I've said right from the beginning, this is the greatest hoax in the history of the world. And when people find out the truth, they're going to be really irritated about it, because the truth is going to come out. Mm-hmm. The truth always comes out in the end. Whether it's going to get out there far enough for it to be spread wide enough, I don't know. But we have some incredible heroes out there that are risking everything to put the truth out, you know. And so what, you know, what kind of advice could you give to somebody like me who is trying desperately to get the truth out there and having a problem with being able to do it from a love standpoint?
Yeah. I would just say be careful in how you're wording it. Are you wording it in anger? Are you wording it, are people going to feel attacked? Or do they feel like you're truly posting this because you love and you care about them and you want them to, you know, to see, look at a different perspective? So, you know, I would say even like don't post when you're angry. Don't post when you're all riled up. Okay. You know, think it through a little bit, write out what you're going to type and step back for 20 minutes or whatever and kind of think about, how am I saying this? How am I communicating? Because if you're going to come across in anger, people are automatically going to get defensive and they're not even going to look at it. And we want people to look at the information. And so, you know, it's saying it in a way, you know, hey guys, I know a lot of you disagree with me, but, you know, I can't help but share about this. Like, please, like, I encourage you to take time to look into this, versus like, you idiots, like, you're all deceived, like, what's wrong with you? You know? So, and I don't know how no, I'm not saying that about you, but, you know, it's just when we're angry, it's like, duh, wake up, people. Like, you're such sheep, like you sense, you know, and people are sheep. And you have to understand, they've been taught, see, we're entrepreneurs. They've been taught to go to their job and work their 9 to 5 and do what their boss tells them to do, you know, and all of this, where, you know, we come into our business and people think differently because they understand entrepreneurship is taking control of your own life and your future and making your own decisions, having to be self-disciplined, having to go out and, you know, you're creating your day. You're having to think for yourself. And see, this is what I'll never forget. I had a high school teacher. He taught me the greatest lesson in life, Mr. Webb. And he's gone through my book too. He taught me, he said he would put stuff on the board and he's like, answer this. And he would get so angry with us. And he's like, you don't think. And if you listen to, you know, a lot of the, like Bob Proctor, he's like, people don't think. 99% of the population can't think for themselves. They simply live on autopilot, going through the motions. They're not thinking for themselves. Okay? Sheep, okay? It's a sheep herd mentality. So there has to be something in that post that they connect with that begins to wake them up and open their eyes. But again, if they just feel attacked, they're going to get defensive. So it's like with our children. Like if I'm like pointing my finger, hey guys, you know, why didn't you blah, 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 blah. What good is that really going to do? Where if I come to my kids and I'm like, guys, mommy really needs your help. Like, we are all in this together. We all live in this house together. I really need your help in cleaning the house and doing the dishwasher. Like, we're going to set some, you know, coming to them in a different place. And then my kids are like, okay, mom, yeah, I see your point, blah, 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 versus like pointing my finger at them. And then they go, and that wall goes up. So you know, it's not easy. It takes thought to think through. And like I said, there's been a lot of things I was on the verge of posting and I had to step back and say, I don't want to create all this negative energy today. Like, this is just not a battle that I feel like I'm supposed to fight today. But if there is something that you feel like, you know, and like I say, we need people posting the truth out there. Like we do need it, you know, and every day I'm like, okay, I do want to say more. Like it's tough. It's a tough place to be, but how can I post it in love, in empathy? How can I open people's eyes so they don't become defensive? Because, you know, if they're defensive, they're not going to look at it at all. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It's not easy.
You know,
It's not easy.
I think the good Lord works in such mysterious ways. And, you know, everything you've been saying, you know, goes right to my heart because, you know, there's nobody out there who needs to learn more from what you're saying than me. I guess.
I don't know about that, but
I've said often that I am not a very good diplomat. I have never been a very good diplomat. I've always come from the angle of tough love.
Maybe that's why you and I are so tight, huh?
Yeah, maybe so, brother. And I need to work on that. I need to work on trying to come from more of a soft love area than a tough love area. And
I mean, I think there are times for tough love. I mean, don't get me wrong, but if we're only tough love, we're going to push people away.
Amen.
You know?
So I have a question for Coach Minard, Jay.
Uh-oh. Okay.
let her rip, brother.
So, Coach, and back a little bit further up in the conversation, I'm having some of them struggles that Jay brought up. And I had an instance the other night. My biggest problem today is people do whatever they want to do. They don't think, they don't care.
No.
And I have a huge problem with that. And
Yeah.
I need to address it somehow, some way. Could you have any suggestions for me?
Honestly, I mean, if this is something heavy on your heart, I would even suggest going live, but you have to come from a place of love. Again, that like, it's upsetting to me that so many people are walking so blindly, like, you know, like sheep, and, you know, there's something greater for you. Like, you don't have to be in all this muck and mire. And I mean, speaking your truth, we need to be like, if it's on your heart to speak your truth, you need to speak your truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but somehow when you begin to take the anger out of it and the frustration, and you speak from a place of, why are you going to talk about this? Because you care about people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, why do we do what we do? Because we love people, we care about people, we want to serve people. So when we come from that attitude, because people, you know what they always say to me? They say, I feel your heart. This is what people say to me all the time. I follow your videos because I feel your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the biggest compliment that I can get, that they know that I'm speaking from my heart, that I'm speaking authentically, that I truly care about people, that this just isn't just about me getting on my soapbox, giving my message, but I am giving this message because I care about people. And they will feel that. The ones that are supposed to feel it will feel it. The ones that are too hard, you know, it is what it is. You know, we can't change people. People change themselves, but we can sow the seeds, right?
Right.
And when there's seeds sown in love, and because we care about people, those seeds are going to go way deeper. But when they're just in anger and strife and all of this stuff, typically the seeds will just bounce off people. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just getting out of hand for me.
Yeah.
Too much.
I know. Yeah.
I appreciate you very much.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for listening. And I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate, I mean, I love to see those who are speaking up and getting, I mean, the truth needs to get out there, because it's not going to get out there through the media, you know, and a lot of it's being censored. So a lot of it's even going through private message. I mean, I get people send me stuff all the time. And I mean, I want to know, like, I want to see this stuff. But it needs to get out there in one way or another. But, you know, again, what is my motive behind it?
Right.
Just hearing that little giggle of hers is just so incredibly heartwarming. You know, I've missed that giggle. And, you know, it's been such a wonderful thing to hear that every Monday at the beginning of the month. And it really helps rock the month, helps get things started on the right foot. And, you know, because it's another week, it's another day, it's another month. And it's really an incredible blessing to have you come in with us. And I and I hope we can do it again next month. Of course, I'd love to get back into the regular schedule of the first Monday of the month if that's something that you can work with.
Yeah, that should work.
I just think it's such a blessing to have your mindset in here. I know it has helped me tremendously. Everything you've been saying has actually got me a little choked up this morning because, quite frankly, I need this information more than anybody else. So I'm just so grateful that you're willing to come in here. I wonder if anybody else, before we, if maybe Coach has some closing message or something, but does anybody have a question for her this morning? Maybe something you've been dealing with or whatever that you might need a little piece of some encouragement, because she's really good at that stuff. And then I would like to give a closing prayer and get rocking on another incredible day.
Just want to say I was glad to see you, Sharon, and I'm enjoying your other part of your coaching.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tara. And Tara's in, I created a True Health coaching group. So we're talking about diet and exercise and the hydration and a lot of different things there. Just trying to keep people focused on moving forward, you know, just keep improving yourself, working on yourself. Get up to that higher place. You know, it was interesting when I got into life coaching. I was listening to, I love a lot of the classics, Think and Grow Rich. I love Bob Proctor. You know, he's back from back in the day. I love The Greatest Secret by Earl Nightingale. Like, go on YouTube, type in The Greatest Secret. It's like 25 minutes or something. If that doesn't get you riled up. But I was listening to The Greatest Secret. It was so many years ago, probably like 5 years ago or so. And I saw the masses of people. And suddenly listening to that, I felt so empowered. I felt like Superman or something, like flying up in the air. And I like came up above the masses. And we have to realize that these are, the masses have low level thinking. Okay. Like, it is what it is. Like, you can get into vibration, low frequency, you know, all this kind of stuff. Okay. So as I began to raise my frequency, I felt myself come up above the masses, and I could just look and see how they just wallow in all of this stuff because they don't really know better. Okay. But that is so as we come up higher, we need to spread that message of that higher vision, which is what we're doing. As we keep our higher frequency, because see, they're going to try to pull us back down into their low frequency, okay, into all the muck and mire and crap. So we have to be on guard. So keeping ourselves at that higher frequency as we're putting that out, that helps to lift them up. You know, we can only do but so much, but that does help to lift them up. But recognizing, oh, the bunny, so cute. Just think about little bunnies, okay, if that makes you feel happier. Cute furry things, though. But realizing, like, if you can literally picture yourself, you know, it is the masses, and yet we can either choose to stay in all that turmoil, all that stuff, or we can come up higher. And when you begin to see yourself at a higher position, you don't get affected by all that as much. Or you know how to let it bounce off of you. You know, and like I said, I mean, normally, this lately has been hard even for me. Normally I can keep myself in a really good place. This has definitely been, you know, difficult for all of us. But getting to that higher place in that, you know, you are a light bearer. You know, people, you are hope to a lot of people. That's what we have to offer people, is hope. Okay. So hope in their health, hope in their finances, hope to bring a lot of restoration, hope in their mindset. You know, and I think when we begin to approach things from love, from the message of hope, you know, people will begin to respond and it will soften their hearts. Because most people have tender hearts, but they got this hard outer shell right now. They're responding in all this anger and all this turmoil. So as we come in, we gotta try to soften their hearts a bit, and then hope and pray that they can hear the truth. Some are waking up, some will eventually, and some never will. And that is what it is, you know, but we can only do our part.
Yeah. Amen. And try to do it from a standpoint of love. And I know that from now on, when I make posts, I'm going to do everything I can to step back and do what you're talking about, Coach, because I think it will help a lot. And real quick, our buddy over here, iPhone. I'm not sure who he is, but he turned on his camera, so I'm wondering if that means that he's got a question or a comment for Coach.
Nah, I was just feeling like I was looking good for a Monday, honestly.
Well, it's good to
Hey, Ryan.
What's up?
How you doing?
Getting ready for work here at
We're
my
here.
house. Nah, I have a 24-hour rule with coaching. Like any parent that ever has like got mad at me for like not starting their kid, or you know, I say just sit on it for 24 hours, and if it's still a problem, then come talk to me, because firing off right there in the heat of the moment ain't gonna do nothing. But like the kids are gonna hear it. It's just a 24-hour rule. So I think I speak before I think a lot of times. So I have to. My sister Michelle, you know, she's also a life coach, has helped me really like just think about it. I don't write it down just because that's too much for me, but just sit on it. So I totally agree.
Good. Thank you, Ryan. That's good. I like that, the 24-hour rule. You know, and here's the deal, like you can have days where you are so angry and so fired up, and the next day, yeah, you've gotten over it.
Prime example,
Yeah.
my daughter didn't warm up for pitching yesterday, and she's supposed to warm up, and it showed in her first 2 innings, and I got mad, and I took a back seat so I wouldn't get emotional and like yell at her. And then she hits her first ever home run, and I missed it. Go figure. I videotape everything, and I didn't videotape it. I'm sure I'll get it from another parent just because I have a lot of friends, but that emotion set me back, and I missed a good opportunity or a good moment just because I got a little emotional. So, plus you drank the heck out of some water. We drank 10 gallons in 3 days. Jesus water home runs.
Love it. That's good, Ryan. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, Ryan, I want to say thank you for coming in here, being here with the coach. And I love your thought process, and probably have a lot that I could learn from you. So I don't know if it'd be possible to get you to send me a friend request and remind me of this meeting. But you can find me under J. John Surprise, SUPRISE, on Facebook, or through the Kong family page.
I got you. I was trying to help you with your slow router and your internet issues there for a little while. I was the one who told you I had to get a separate router and a separate modem and everything because your internet kept crashing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd love it if you, are we already friended up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll check.
Yeah, if not, let's make that happen. And I actually could use that information again, because I do need to get a new router and a new modem, and hopefully that'll solve the issues like you said it did for you. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And so does anybody else have any questions or anything for the coach before I give the closing prayer and we get on out there and rock the world today? All right. Well, with that, I would like to give us a closing prayer. And our Father in heaven, I want to thank you so much once again for another amazing, beautiful, incredible day. And I want to thank you for making it. I didn't expect Coach to be able to be in here today yesterday when I reached out to her. And I just want to say thank you for making it all come about, you know, because we all know that nothing happens without your approval or with your blessings, and sometimes they may not seem like blessings. Sometimes the things that happen to us in our lives don't seem to be like blessings at all. But what I've learned is that sometimes even the most horrific things that happen to us, if we can have the right attitude, they can turn into the biggest blessings. And I recently had one of those things happen that has actually turned out to be one of the greatest blessings of my life. And Lord, I want to ask that you will bless Coach Minard and her family and everybody around her, that you will take care of them. And we need her. We need her to continue to spread this incredible, valuable information to the world. And we ask that you will help us to take the information that she shares with us so graciously and share it out. We ask that you will help all those people that are struggling right now to look for some light, to look for some truth, to open up their hearts and their minds to things that are maybe a little bit beyond what they thought. And we'll ask that you'll give them the strength to turn off their TV and to start looking within themselves, to look in the mirror when they're mad or when they think something's going wrong. We always say that people need to change the world starting with their own, and that starts by looking in the mirror and doing some self-reflection. And I ask that you will help these people reach out and look towards Coach and myself and other parts of the Kong family, that they can, because this is an incredible family, Lord, that you and Mr. Ashiro have created. And we have so much blessing to offer to the world. Please help us have more strength and more ability and more love to get this incredible blessing out there. And I ask all of this, Lord, humbly, in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, my Savior, our Savior. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for having me on today. This is such a blessing. I'm glad it worked out. So
Yeah, I when I reached out yesterday, I was like, yeah, she probably isn't going to be able to make it because she wasn't planning on it. And I know she has everything planned for weeks, months in advance, but who knows? Might as well reach out because hopefully I can get her in soon. And you know, Coach, God bless you. Thank you so much for being here and for everything that you do for all of us on a daily basis. And looking already forward to next month, and wishing you and yours, you know, an incredible day, an amazing month, and you know, just everything. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You're the greatest, and I love you so much, and can't wait to actually see you again and give you a real hug. Because remember, we are the Count family. We're here to change the world. And you know, right now you're not allowed to give anybody else a hug. So you
I do.
yourself a hug. You know, if you can't hug other people, you might as well hug yourself. And of course,
I hug anybody that'll accept it, dude.
Same here. Same here.
I'm all about hugging. You know, that's been one of the toughest things for me with this, is that my adopted mom that I golf with every Sunday, she won't let me hug her anymore. For all these years, we've always, as soon as we got to the golf course, the first thing was a great big hug. And now she won't allow that. She won't even get within 6 feet of me.
Only a small hug.
And it's a really heartbreaking thing. And
Yeah.
you know, that's probably been the hardest thing for me to get through, is all these friends who won't get within 6 feet of me. You know, when we get together, I haven't seen them for a while. I want to give them a big hug. They're like, stay away, get away, you know. And they got their petri dish on their face, you know, and yeah, you know, it's just all so heartbreaking. But that's why I'm so grateful for you coming in today, Coach, because I think it's really helped. It will help me a lot throughout this month. to think a little bit closer. And amen. Just grab life, Rod. Guys.
Heck, you had me and Wetzel and Tara hugging on you all weekend, bro. Stop it.
There you go.
Bless their hearts. You know, there are some people that will still give you a hug, and I can't tell all those people how much I love them. You know, words really can't even convey how much I love those people that are not buying into this nonsense. And so, you know, you guys, thank you so much. Coach, love you.
Have a good day.
You guys all have a great day. Get out there, change the world, starting with your own, and do not forget your hugs and your.
Thank you, JJ. Appreciate all you do. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
All right.
Thank you.
God
Thanks,
bless
Coach.
you, everyone.
Thanks, JJ.
Make it a great one. Bye for now. See you tomorrow for some more fun.
Woo-hoo!
What do you? We can't do it as good as you.
That's a beautiful Woody right there, Coach. I love that. Yeah. You know, I want you to coach. You got to do something. Challenge your kids. Challenge your kids to go out and scream hooty hoo into the air at the top of their lungs.
Therapeutic.
And you'll see how good it feels. It just feels so good because when you do hooty hoo, you don't do it. You don't say hooty hoo. You say hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo!
There you go. Rod goes professional hooty hoo. All right, guys, make it a great
All
one.
right, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.